How are we, people? And welcome back to Total Oz Spurs. And big news today. Well, it's been a couple of hours now, but
Yep.
Conte's gone. We all saw it coming, but it's I actually called it. I thought that he'd be gone Monday afternoon, Monday in England. But before we get into that, Delane, how are you, bro?
Yeah, look, despite the breaking news, yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, no, just hearing that was pretty devastating, but yeah, we'll go right into it.
I mean, it wasn't really a shock. You know, you can't come out as a
Nah,
manager.
nah, it wasn't.
And say that about a club that you're at without any consequences. And the fact that he hasn't returned to England or to Tottenham to take training on. Stellini and Ryan Mason have been taking it. It's quite a bit of. It was pretty much inevitable for me that he was going. It was just
Yeah,
when.
yeah.
But by the sounds of it, it's not to go to our next manager. It's kind of going to be an interim manager for the rest of the season. But we'll get into that shortly after. But what's your feelings about Conte and how it's gone down and the way it's turned out for us and himself really as well?
Look, after that Southampton game, after we drew that game, I think he was, I think it came out too brutal. I think like you should at least, as we said before, he should take some criticism for what he did as well. But after that interview he did against Southampton, yeah, like, I think that pretty much just lined it up for him to be sacked. I think Daniel Levy's seen that, and that was him for to be sacked. So yeah, to be honest, yeah, it wasn't the greatest idea, but it needed to be said. And also, Conte, yeah, I think he just pulled himself into a trap, and I think the only way he was going to go is if he had to come out and say something like that. That's the only way he was going to go, for me.
Yeah, it was quite strange the way he went about it. He could have done it in a much more strategic way, but I think
Yeah,
the past 10 months and the way we kind of drew that game, it felt like a loss, to be honest. We're so dominant
yeah, it did. It,
in
it
the
did.
attack and a defense letting us down. And I'll disagree with you a little bit. I don't feel like he went overboard. I feel like it was the right amount. And this is the problem that I'm having now is that as it's been processed in the last the last week or so, a lot of people have been calling for a manager to do that at Tottenham. And now that a manager has, it's like the world's gone like wild. And what I think is what Conte was really trying to say, but could not say it, and that's why he excused who he was having a go at to say to players. Is I think Levy's once again slid under the rug, and everyone's just kind of forgotten about him because of Conte's outburst. Now, I'm not saying it was professional. I do think it was the wrong forum to do it. However,
Yeah,
as
definitely,
a
definitely.
manager, when is the best time to call out the club and call out your players? It's the time after a tough game, a game that you should have won. And for me, he did the right thing. Maybe it was to get sacked early. From what I've read, it's mutual agreement. So I'm guessing he kind of knew it was happening, and the club have kind of agreed. So he will
hmm
be paid out, and that's the thing in his clause. If he gets
It's only a
sacked,
four. It's only a 4 million release or clause, isn't it? It's only
yeah,
four.
but he gets paid the extra year extension that he's allowed
Ah,
to
okay, yeah,
activate.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure.
yeah,
So
yeah. I think,
if it's a mutual leaving, he'll get paid out the rest of this year, but won't get the extra. That's where
yeah,
I
yeah,
think the only way Levy wouldn't let him sack him was because he would have had to have paid an extra year. And that's the
yeah,
thing. It's all about money. Um, but I do think that he didn't take responsibility for his own mistakes.
yeah. Definitely,
But
definitely, definitely.
he's kind of a manager that sticks to his guns, and no matter what, it's tried and tested for him. So
Yeah.
he doesn't see any faults in his tactics. And the thing is, he wasn't playing the way he was at Inter or Chelsea because we
We
don't
didn't
have
have
the
the
defense.
players to do. We didn't have the players to play that kind of system.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like we didn't give him everything he needed. That's why
Yeah,
he
we
did
didn't.
go for Bastoni straight away at the start of the season
Mm,
because that's
yeah,
he needed a centre back like that because he can cope with Dyer being in the middle. If he had Bastoni on the left and Romero on the right, that would
yeah,
have been a
definitely.
solid defense because all Dyer had to do was stick his big ass head on balls coming in, and that was it. Bastoni and Romero would have done everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when we could have played the three in the middle. However, unfortunately, he it's parted ways and it's good for the club in a way because hopefully this shows fans that the owners aren't serious about winning. All they care about is top four because when they made the announcement that, if anybody doesn't know, that Stellini has stayed on and be giving his blessing by Conte to take over the club for the rest of the season, all they could talk about was fighting for top four.
Yeah, if you look at the statement that Levy they released, I think Levy came out and said, "Look, we got to stick. We just got to keep going forward. We got to try to get top four, the Champions League." Now that to me, saying Levy only wants that top four. That's all he wants. Top four,
That's all he wants
Champions League.
anyway.
That's what he wants. Doesn't want a trophy. Doesn't want us to grow as a club. He just wants the top four, the money, the Champions League. That's all he wants. Just the revenue for the club. And for me, that's really poor. That's a really poor owner who does not want to see this club grow. Doesn't want to fight the top leagues like the Liverpools, the Chelseas, the Arsenals, the Cities. Doesn't want to compete with them. He'd rather just be there in the middle. And right now, that's what I think we are. We're a middle club right now. We're not top. We're not top four club.
Yeah,
To be
well,
honest.
that's the thing as well. It's a ridiculous record, and it's quite telling of what this ownership's about. We've had 15 managers under these owners, right? We have won one trophy with 15 managers. Do you want to know how many trophies those same managers have won collectively away from Spurs?
Oh, we gotta refresh my memory. I probably kind of forgot it because of the yeah. I think
It's
it was only
61.
Harry.
They have won
Yeah.
61. And I know Mourinho accounts for about 25 of those. However, they have won collectively, all the managers that have managed at Tottenham since Levy has come in and ENIC, they have won 61 trophies outside of Tottenham. And we've only won once with one of those managers. And that's disgusting. The fact that Cyril and Mourinho, who's won more trophies than any manager ever dreams of. Conte, he's won his last three leagues or the last 3 leagues he's been in, various leagues. He's won the Italian league twice with different teams, and with Chelsea, he won the Premier League. You had Poch went and won stuff with PSG. Obviously, everyone says, well, that's a given. But Tuchel failed at PSG and went to Chelsea and won the Champions League. So, you can't always say that the grass is greener somewhere else. We've had countless managers that have won stuff at other clubs. And this, to me, is because there's no push from the board to win anything. It's get the money, bring in the revenue, keep our assets like Kane, like Sonny, who bring in shitloads of shirt sales across the world. And Sonny brings a shitload of traffic from the Asian region because of his nationality and who he is. And that's all they care about. And this is where I feel like Stellini taking over Conte, which we're going to get into what we think and what we expect from him. It's a ploy because they don't want to have to pay someone like Nagelsmann, who I hope we get. If anything, I actually switched. I want to go for Nagelsmann, because I don't want to. Because if he succeeds, then Poch can come back and carry on the success, and that'll be perfect for Poch. But I don't think he wants to pay a new contract for Nagelsmann when he's got Stellini that he's still paying for the rest of the season. It's all about money. It's got nothing to do with the success of the club. It's, Stellini's here. He's managed the club while Conte was in Italy, so why not just give it to him for the rest of the season? Ryan Mason can back him up, and we don't have to pay a new manager, and we can just find a manager in the summer and not have to balance the books for the rest of the season and pay him an extra 2 months than what we would have to.
Yeah. Look. You pretty much said it right. Like, they probably don't want to pay it out. They won't. They'll just look, Stellini's here. He took over Conte when it was ill. Just give it to him to the end of the season, and then we'll just see how we go. Sorry, bro. But look, I hope we do get Nagelsmann. I'm a big fan of him. I've seen what he's done at Leipzig. I've seen what he's done at Bayern, even though he got sacked. But he's just a manager. He's a young manager with a plan, and he always sticks by the plan. And he does change it if necessary. He will change it.
Yeah.
But he's a young manager that we want, that can really bring something to this Tottenham team. And the likes of Kane and Son, if they stay, look, I really think they can do something, if we do get them.
Well, Kane and Son are both on fire as well. You know that, right? Son scored 2 goals for Korea the other day. I'm pretty sure it was 2. And Kane's beat the record, and now he scored an extra goal for the record. So, that's got to be good for someone like Nagelsmann to look at and go, their front men are starting to fire again. But you're right. Like, Nagelsmann, I think, is the goal. But then come summer, teams like Real Madrid are going to want a new manager because I think Ancelotti is going to be going. There's plenty of clubs out there that, Liverpool, Klopp might walk away from Liverpool because he's been there so long for 7 years. He might go, I need a new challenge, and they might go, I'll get Nagelsmann in. Nice attacking, free-flowing football with the likes of Mane, Nunez, Diaz, Jota, Gakpo. That's the thing now. It's do we try and solidify Nagelsmann's contract before the end of the season if we're going to go for him? And you've got to look at it like if we don't give it to Poch and give it to Nagelsmann, how long is Poch going to wait around for us? What if the next time we want Poch, he doesn't want us? Not that I think that Poch is the end goal. I think every Tottenham fan wants Poch to come back and win something with us because of what he did when he came originally. However, I don't think this is the time for him. I just think it's the worst time because he's going to have so much pressure, and the likes of Nagelsmann, he can go, this is the football that we're going to have. I did it at Leipzig, and they nearly won the league at Leipzig with this football, and they didn't have half the team that Bayern have. So, but what do you expect to see from Stellini though? Like that's the thing is, Stellini kind of played like Conte. So do you think Stellini will change it, or do you think he'll just stick to the system that Conte, out of respect for his colleague?
I think he'll stick to the same system. I think Conte's pretty much worked with him, and they've always worked with that system. So I'm pretty sure they'll stick to that system. But the thing is, like, if we fail to get top 4, what does that say to Levy? Like, sacking Conte before the end of the season, I get it. But if we don't accomplish what we did to get that top 4 spot, I mean, that's kind of a failed season. To be honest, like, towards the end of the season, that's kind of a fail because we did.
I think it's a fail anyway. For me, it's a fail. We dropped out of all the cups that we had a possibility of winning. We had a half decent run in the League Cup, even though we got knocked out to Forest. We had a great run. We had a great chance in the FA Cup to make the final, or at least the semis, because we would have had Blackburn. And the Champions League, we fucked up. We could have had the easiest side of the seed to the final, and we kind of just threw it in and gave up. Like we didn't even bother attacking. So, but like you said, I think Stellini is going to stick to Conte's system. I don't think he's going to change it that much. I don't think, unless he just goes, guys, I'm here for 10 games. I just want to see goals. And we just go like a 4-2-3-1, and he goes, fuck it. If we leak goals, let's just try and score more. All right. For me, that'll be more entertaining for the rest of the season. And even if we don't get top 4, at least we fucking went for games. You know what I mean?
At least we didn't go. At least we went down fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, at least we went down fighting instead of playing this boring ass football and try and scrape points or scrape a game, scrape a goal. Like I rather just go all out. Let's just go all out. Conte's not here no more. Stellini, you play a system you want to play. Let's just go for it and just at least try to get top 4 if we can. If not, look, we went down trying bring Nagelsmann. Let's just start fresh next season. So I'm not expecting too much from Stellini. Like I know he's lost 2 games for us so far. It's 2, if I'm correct.
I think 1. Oh no, it might be 2. I think he did.
I think it was 2. No, because he did the FA Cup game because Conte wasn't there. So he did the FA Cup, and I think it was the Man City game. I think it was the Man City game he did.
The original? No, because he beat Man City because I was there.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
He beat Man City. He beat West Ham. He beat Chelsea. He beat Sporting. That was his first 4, and I'm pretty sure he lost in the league, and then he lost in the cup. I'm pretty sure he had one of those, one in each loss.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, my mistake. Well, it's one of them, but yeah, I think he's got 2 losses with us. So look, to be honest, I think his way of reading the game is a little bit better than Conte. I think with the help of Ryan Mason as assistant, I really think it could kind of, we can try and push, but is it Stellini going to push hard enough that the players are going to go with it? Because right now, the players are kind of like, at the moment, I know they're on international break, but they're kind of like, a bit in the dark with Conte. And maybe, I don't know if they're like that with Stellini. I don't know.
Well, the likes of Kane and Dyer will be back soon because England have already played their international. So they got about 7 or 8 days before we play Everton.
Yeah.
So that see for me, it's this is I don't expect it, but this would be the perfect time for Stellini to show what he is as a manager.
Yeah.
Now, what I mean by that is I know Conte's his close friend, and I know they've always worked together, but like surely Stellini wants to be
A
the
manager
top
one
dog,
day.
the main guy.
Yeah.
And Conte apparently gave his blessing. I don't know how true that is. Conte might have never had a choice. Stellini might have been told you quit and lose your entitlements, or you just see out the rest of the season for us. Conte might have said to him, "Do it," and just put your name out there. And this could be like Stellini could take this by the scruff of the neck and go, "Fuck it, I'm going to try and show what I am as a manager and see if I can get a gig out of this once I leave." And for me, that's a win-win for Tottenham because he goes for it. You play attractive football. The fans are going to like. We lose, play attractive football. The fans are going to be okay with it because they're like, at least we're not watching Conte shit. You play attacking football, you win games. People go, "Oh, this is great." So either way, I think that Stellini will if he plays attacking football or at least more attacking than Conte, he'll get a look in. But then does he go, "Oh, I'm gonna," like I said before, my colleague, I respect him that much that I'm gonna keep going with his formation because I feel like it's a disrespect if I change it. If and I kind of want Stellini to think for himself. I don't want him to think of what Conte do because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like that's not going to help us as a club if Stellini's scared to play his own style.
Yeah.
But like, what do you expect with Stellini? And let's just put out. What do you expect for the rest of the season now? What like do you expect us to stay in the top four? Do you think that we're going to drop out of it without the Conte? Conte in there. Do you think that maybe because there's been rumors that people have been upset with Conte, maybe the arrival of a new manager, they're kind of like, well, not arrival, but like they're going shit. We've got 10 games under Stellini and then he's gone. So now's the time to start showing what we can do individually for the new manager, or do you think they're all just like, you know what, it's the same old Stellini, we'll just keep going the way we're going for the rest of the season?
Um. Look, for me, the players really need to now step up. Like, oh no, obviously Conte is gone, and if we really want to get like a Nagelsmann in, this is the time for them to show like the Richarlison, all them players who have been left out. Maybe Dan Juma as well. Maybe it's a good time. I hope Silly looks at Dan Juma, the way Conte didn't look at him. Like maybe Dan Juma might get a go. But this is a time for these players to step up now. Now that Conte's gone, and really show what we can do as a team and as a unit to go into the next season for a new manager. If it's Nagelsmann, if it's Poch, I really don't want Mason Ryan taking over. To be honest, don't think he will.
You mean
Anyways,
Ryson, mate? You mean Ryan Mason? Mason, right?
sorry, sorry, Ryan Mason. I don't know why I said
Yeah.
Mason Ryan. Jesus.
Look, I know that they've been talking about Ryan Mason having respect from the players, and that may be because he's their mate. So they might go, "Oh, well, we'll play for our mate." When he took over Mourinho, he played all his friends. He
Yeah,
just changed the whole team. So, I mean, that aspect's not too bad. He may be influenced by the likes of Harry Kane, who might go, "Look, this is the formation we should play." Conte wouldn't play it. This is, I don't know. I don't think Kane's that unprofessional to do that, but you never know. But you're
yeah,
right. Like I don't want to see Ryan Mason interim. I want to see. You know what I would love to see is the players play absolutely fucking out of their skin to prove to the next manager they deserve to stay or they deserve to start, and that includes the likes of Dyer, Langley. Royal keeps his form. Porro grows another level. Like Perisic, actually, I think Perisic is injured, isn't he now?
did he get injured in Croatia? Did he?
No, didn't he get injured the game before? Or I'm not sure.
No, he
Um,
played. I think he played. I don't
but
remember.
I want to see people going for it. I don't want to see us sitting back and just accepting the fact that Conte's gone and going, "Oh, it's all right, we're here, so we'll just fucking have a jolly old time sitting here and just waiting to see what happens."
Yeah, no, look, I agree. I think the likes of Perisic and all that, but then again, like Perisic could leave, because I know he's a Conte
Yeah,
player.
I
Like
think I think you said he's
he
going to get
follows
back to
Conte.
Inter.
Yeah, exactly. So if Conte goes, he'll go as well. And look, I wouldn't mind if he goes. Like he's not the player we expected. Like he's not the wing back we wanted. So I wouldn't mind if he goes. But I think to be honest, for the rest of the season, I just want to see more attacking football. You know, going down with a fight. None of this boring football. I just want to see us just push, for top four if we really can. If it's really necessary, if we can do it, then let's go for it. But if we're just going to be playing boring football and then just doing the Conte way, then really I don't see us getting top four. And to be honest, we kind of don't deserve top four right now the way we were playing. Like
Well,
it's really
I don't want to get top four. I'll be honest. I know everyone says, "Oh, you're not a real fan. You don't want top four." Look, we're going to go into the Champions League next season, and we might make the last 16 or the last 32, and then we're going to get knocked out because we don't have the depth, we don't have the squad to do what we need to do, and that's the problem for me. It's we literally do not have the squad in the Champions League at the moment. We don't have the first 11 to even compete in the Premier League, let alone the Champions League.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, for me, I would rather go Europa or even Conference, somewhere we can actually win a trophy. And for me, it's got to be about winning trophies. It's got to be about winning something. Because, the thing about Levy is he's an idiot because all he has to do is provide one trophy. Doesn't matter what it is, Conference League, Europa League, League Cup, or FA Cup, because they're the ones that we're most likely to win, because knockout competitions it's all about luck and the best team that turns up on the day. It's not about consistency over 38 games. And for me, if he was smart, he would just go for one of those trophies and go, all right, fuck the League Cup, fuck the Champions League, top four and FA Cup. That's your aim. Shut the fans up, stop them from fucking trying to riot and wanting to, to protest and stuff. But the thing is, he won't, because he's like, oh, but then if we don't focus on the league, it's like, well, why can't we do both? Why can't we buy a squad that compete for the league and go for an FA Cup? Give the fans a trophy, because if you give the fans a trophy, we'll shut the fuck up. We'll go, oh, he got us an FA Cup. He won us something now. Mm-hmm. And then it'll be like, okay, you've got 2 or 3 year period of where we want to try and keep progressing. And if we start falling apart and go, okay, well, it's only just one trophy. It's just the 2008 League Cup, it's the same thing. But it doesn't. I don't understand how Levy can't just sit there and go. They act like everything's happy. It's like, no, your fans aren't happy. Oh, but they're coming through the turnstiles. Okay, but then when we start chucking them Man United and people are raiding the fucking stadium before the game, you won't be sitting there going, oh, we're getting money. You'll be sitting there going, this is a bad look on our brand. Yeah, and definitely. I don't want it to get like that, but I feel like that's the only way they're going to fucking do anything.
Well, at the moment, like he pretty much come out and said, look, and basically saying like he didn't mention trophies. He didn't mention anything about trophies in that statement. It was just top 4 in Champions League. He didn't say anything about a trophy. He didn't say anything about winning a trophy. It was just Champions League and top 4. That's all his concerns was. And for us as a fan, we reading that going, well, you basically just said you don't want trophies. So to me, it's like, how many seasons are we going to go through this shit, sacking managers after managers after managers, just to get a fucking trophy? At least one trophy.
Well, it's not even that. It's just maintaining top 4. That's the problem. Is Conte would have stayed if he stayed in the top 4. They wouldn't have sacked him. The only reason they sacked him was because he spoke out about the club, and the club didn't like take his, oh, it's not about you, it's about the players, because we all knew it was about them. There's no way you mention the goal, the trophy drought and everything like that if you're not taking aim at the managers and at the owners. And he had every right to do it. Like, I don't understand what this concept of them not realizing that the fans aren't happy. And at the end of the day, the fans are the lifeblood of any club. And if you lose the fans, and eventually you will, because once Sonny goes, you'll lose all your tourism from the Asian countries. I'm not saying they will give up on Tottenham, but I know for a fact that they won't follow it as religiously because there's no Sonny. Especially if Son leaves and says bad things about the club, like, oh, Levy didn't want to win, they didn't want to this and that. People are going to go, well, fuck, why are we supporting them? And there's so many fans that have stopped watching because of the football that we play, but also because of the fact that nothing's changing.
Nah, and if Sonny goes and Kane goes, mate, there's 2 top talent players that could have won a trophy, should have won a trophy, and we just didn't make it happen for them. And now they're gonna move on to win a trophy, and the likes of Son will get all the revenue from South Korea going to support that team, and then Levy's going to be sitting there, twirling his thumbs, going, "Well, I fucked up. Yeah, you did fuck up because now, there goes all the revenue from South Korea, and just our fan, and then the fan base, and then all the fans will start slowly peeling off because we're not going to get any, we're not winning anything, and
Oh,
Levy's going to be
that
sitting there going, what do I do?"
this yeah, they're slowly starting to peel off now, and they're starting to start the process. But I think it's a bit too late. Like you look at Arsenal and Arsenal Fan TV. Like I know they had a big platform with a lot with their the people that spoke on that channel. They were of a certain not culture, but kind of like lifestyle in London. The more of it's like where we live out west in Sydney. It's a bit more ghetto, I should say. Not really we don't live in the ghetto, but you know what I mean. Like it's not the proper way, I should say. And the reason they got so much traction, they had 8 years of Wenger being shit, and they were losing it. And that was at Wenger, and then they switched to Kroenkes because they realised that the owners were allowing the manager to be this shit. And they did that. And then the Kroenkes did all their shit under Emery, and then the fucking fans protested again. They had like thousands of people outside the Emirates, and then all of a sudden, Kroenkes went, "Oh shit, maybe we need to invest because we're going to lose. This looks bad on us." And now they invested in Arteta, and they spent 400 plus mil, and they're going to win the league. So like, I don't understand that Arsenal were doing the model that we should have done under Poch. We built the team for him. Now I will say that team that he had with the likes of Walker, Toby, Jan, Rose, we had Dembele and Ali and Ericsson and Sonny and Kane. That team should have won something. And we were close to winning. That Champions League final was one of the worst finals I've ever seen. If we actually turned up, we would have tore Liverpool apart because Liverpool weren't great. They got an easy penalty at the start that should not have been a penalty, and then they got a goal late in the game that killed us off pretty much. And I reckon we could have won that if we actually didn't concede early, or at least competed. We lost a couple of finals under Poch, so I do think Poch should have won something with the team that he had. However, when he asked for more. For more like rejuvenation, he goes, "I need rejuvenation to keep this system going so we can push on in the next couple of years." Levy was like, "I've already given you the team to win. Now it's all about top four. If you can't make top four, see you later." And that's all it's been about. And that's why Nagelsmann or Poch hasn't been hired, because they don't want to pay the extra couple of months on their contract. Mm-hmm. And they want to see if we make Champions League first before they go. Because what will happen is if we make Champions League, they'll go, You'll get all the Champions League money to spend plus a bit extra on top. If we don't get Champions League, they'll go, "Oh, you've only got the Europa League money that we got, and that on top." And managers might not come. But Nagelsmann has said he's about the project, not about the money. And Poch will be the same. So I think we can get either of them, regardless if we're in the Europa League. It's just whether the club's willing to give them what they want.
Yeah, and that's what I want to. I want to see that. I want to see them. I want to see Levy in it, give them the money they need to build our squad from back to front, goalie all the way up. Just rebuild the team, rebuild our system, rebuild our DNA, and let's start off from scratch. Let's start off where Poch left and try and build that again. So that's what I want. I want to try and get back to not the Poch way, but just back to those ways that we were before when we were playing under Poch. I want to go back to that way because right now we are far from what we used to be. We are far away from that. We have basically just dropped down. We went from there to there, and we need to bring it back up because right now it's just not attractive. Our club is really not attractive to watch. There's times I don't even want to wake up and watch the game because I know how boring it is. Yeah, it's just so. Yeah.
Well, that's where I think fans that do live in Europe or in England don't understand that the likes of us and the Americans that get up and watch it. Well, sometimes it's early in the morning for them, like 7 o'clock, so it's not too bad. But for us, it's fucking 2 a.m. Like the Everton game's at midnight on Sunday in the morning. So rather than have to stay up all night and watch it or go to bed early and get up to watch it. And it's like, well, I don't want to have to base my weekend around Tottenham, even though I would love to. If it was a 3 o'clock kickoff and we could watch it, I'd have you all round. We'd watch it. Well, I'd watch along all together every Sunday. We'd have it religiously. But, we get games on Monday morning at 3:30. Some days I'm leaving home at 3:30 to go to work. So if I have to leave early and go to work, I can't watch it. I'll listen to it in the car while I'm driving to work. And that's the thing. I'm not. I don't want to get up anymore and watch this Conte ball. I don't. And it may be selfish in saying, "Oh, you don't want to win. You just want to watch good football." Yes, I want to watch good football because we're not good. We don't win anything. So what else am I looking forward to? But I wanted Conte to succeed. I didn't
I
care
wanted them
if
to. I
we
wanted.
won a trophy, if we went for that FA Cup and we won it, right, and we still played the same system as we're playing now, I wouldn't have said anything. I go, Conte's won us something sweet.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, we've won something. I've seen us win something. I've had the excitement. I've had the adrenaline. I've had all that. I'm okay. The fact that we're not winning anything, Conte just doesn't seem like he's. And the thing is, it's not all about us. Conte's personal life has been rocked so many times this season.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the guy is still here. Like, anybody would. If you lose 3 of your close friends, you have, was it kidney failure or surgery or something?
Yeah.
Your wife and your daughter's, in her teenage years, and they're in Italy and you're homesick. Like, of course, like it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. So, I don't blame the man for kind of not giving up, but kind of going, you know what, like, fuck, I'm not happy. And when you're not happy in a job, you know yourself, bro. You don't put the effort in anymore. You don't put the 100%. You go up to what you need to do. You put maybe a little bit extra on top just so people don't look at you, but you don't go hard out. You don't fucking deep dive in and try and do everything you can because your head's not in it.
Nah, you're right. Like I think Conte wasn't really. I think Conte was a little homesick. Losing and plus losing on his friends. I think it really took a toll on him, and I think he just like you see on the sidelines. He had there was no excitement anymore. But apart from the Southampton game, there was a little bit. But other than that, it's still deep down inside. Like it's killing them. So for me, look, I really hope Conte, moves on, does great when you go whatever club he goes to next. I really hope he gets better, and spends more time with his family. Like I'm not gonna diss the guy. Look, he's come in last season, halfway through the season last season.
Yep.
Got us top four. You know, try to get some winning mentality back into this team, but obviously it really didn't go so well this season. But in saying that, like he's done well for us, but I'm a bit upset that he's gone. Like I really want him to win something for us because he's one of those managers that can win something for us. But obviously it didn't work out here. But other than that, I just want to see him, move on from Tottenham and just go succeed somewhere else, and go to Juve or Inter, and just win something with them again. So, no, but other than that, yeah, I think Conte he deserved better, but I just think it just didn't work out towards the end.
No, I think you're completely right, bro. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Let us know down below what your thoughts and your feelings about Conte leaving, about the way it happened, how Stellini may go, and if you're happy about Stellini, and who you might want next as the manager. You might think of someone better. You might want Lewis and PK, but for me, I think we need a build, not a rebuild, because we haven't really been building anything. I think we need to continue the build, and Nagelsmann or Poch will probably be the best two for it. But then at the end of the day, like we always say, it's down to the board and the owner to kind of give those guys the tools. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button down the bottom. That is the bell down the bottom for all our future videos, so you can get notifications for that. And make sure you're sharing our stuff around, guys. We really appreciate it. So on that note, as we always say here at Total Spurs, stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, guys.